I want to show you this. Our buddy Geno.
You know that's weird science, dude.
Our buddy Geno has been at it again. He's been harassing me on Twitter lately. So I'll show you these. This is Flat Broke Geno from the popular show In Hot Water. Do you remember him? Still been going off on me on Twitter. Here's some of his crazy tweets from this week. We'll hit up the Bring Back group. Shoutouts to Gabe Berkey for posting these. Says, Disconte is a successful podcaster, everybody. So I guess this guy tweeted to Geno and he said, good for you, Disconte, responding to some stupid tweet that Geno posted. Now, Geno responds to him very aggressively. Ha ha! Thanks, buddy! I forgot that name was even still a thing! And then he's responded to with, that name haunts you, don't lie. And this is where he goes, whoops, this is where he goes nuts here. And I'll show you this. Let me go back to this one. Hey, buddy, honest to God, if it makes you happy, sure. But it carries no weight. Like that pathetic host you follow has no impact in the industry. Be sure to go buy more of his merch that lines his pockets and makes no other impact. So again, obsessed with the merch stuff. Every time he tweets about me, he brings up this merch that lines my pockets, that makes me rich. He goes on. Let's see this other one. 3 tweets in a row. Madness. Some mania here from our buddy Geno. Also, feel free to reply as crazy as you want to guarantee no one else will like them, but you are welcome for even giving you any attention by responding to you. You can owe me. Okay, so that made little to no sense. We'll do this again soon, buddy. You don't mind if I go back to being successful and cash them checks from my podcast album and writing gigs while your hero goes back to his basement and tells podcast stories that you believe like a jackass. Sorry, doing a Geno impression is very taxing. You don't mind if I go back to being successful and cash them checks from my podcast album and writing gigs. I don't know what he's talking about, his podcast album. Is he talking about his stand-up comedy album? Now, this would be big if we could get somebody to get in there. I don't know how. Remember, Geno came out with his podcast album that he was very proud of. Now, here he is bragging, or his stand-up comedy album. Here he is bragging about cashing those checks. Now, I know how little those checks could be. I did an album for comedian James Fritz. It was number 1 on iTunes for weeks. iTunes takes 35% of what you earn. Okay, you need to have thousands and thousands and thousands of sales to see any money on an iTunes album like that. So if somebody could investigate and find out how many copies he's actually sold. I don't know if that's public knowledge somewhere. I don't know if we could get it. I don't know if we can make Geno reveal those numbers, but put some pressure on him when he says stuff like this about cashing his stand-up comedy album checks and how he's making so much money. Because seriously, does anybody believe that he's sold over 2,000 copies of his album? Does anybody believe that? The answer is probably no. He would have to sell about 5,000 albums minimum to be bragging about the checks that he'd be cashing. So let's put some pressure on him to reveal those numbers. Show us the checks. Show us a photo of the checks. Show us a printout of those iTunes numbers that you're getting. Writing gigs. And then he mentions me again. This guy didn't mention me at all who originally tweeted him. While your hero goes back to his basement and tells podcast stories that you believe like a jackass. And finally, he tweets again. Oh, and I thought you were being cute, but now that I know you pathetically actually meant what you were saying, I took the like off your tweet. Now it has none. Weird that no one gives a fuck about what a loser you his listeners are. Very demeaning tweets from Geno Disconte. And then we go to this. This contributes to his flat brokenness, and this I find to be very disgusting. He went on Instagram, and he likes to brag when he's out and about doing things. Look at this. This is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Geno Disconte, he's in Vineland, New Jersey, and he's having coffee. He says, coffee in my Columbo mug with Aunt Olga. I'm eating her homemade lentil soup. Hashtag Nirvana. Hashtag blessed. Who just used this the other day? Melton used hashtag blessed. This is an old hashtag from about 3-4 years ago that women would actually use. And to mock this in 2018, very out of date. So here he is. Look at this picture. It starts off, you see a really rundown, beaten by the elements, old woman. Really run down, wearing some really poor attire, drinking a bottle of water at Poland Springs. On the middle of the table, you got a crusty, old, stainless steel pot sitting on one of the most decrepit pot holders I've ever seen. And in the pot, you can see the crusted on what he's calling lentil soup. Now let's go to that. The front of the picture here is showing Geno's bowl of lentil soup, and not since Sven's dark black lasagna have I ever seen something this messy. Now this looks like a bowl of burnt baked beans. Does not look like lentil soup. It's crusty. It's disgusting. And look at the atmosphere that the old woman lives in. A disgustingly messy kitchen, a counter covered in crud, covered in garbage out of Vineland, New Jersey. So Geno's posting this photo, showing what a dilapidated life he lives, going over to this Aunt Olga's house. She's at the end of her life. She's got an entire sleeve of saltine crackers ripped open, ready to put in the lentil soup. And a listener went even further, and they found out that Vineland, New Jersey, very, very poor, flat broke place. They actually, most of their residents are under the poverty line in an article from this year. So, Geno, I know you went out to humble brag here about how you get fed. You get fed good, bro. But just came down to you being flat broke again. So there he is. Very disturbing on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram, by the way. There's lots of good ones on there. And finally, Geno's ex. She's still around. Alex. Remember this woman? This isn't the right one. Let's see. Alex Engelbert. Do you remember her? Let's see what's happening with her. Some of her tweets have been really crazy. Here's one. Okay, of all the things Geno Disconte has done to hurt me, changing the Hulu password is probably the most upsetting. Okay, very weird tweet. Let's read the other ones. I sent Geno Disconte a nice card and called on his birthday. It's my birthday now. I'm sure he's busy making jokes in an armory or something. He'll call. So this is very disturbing behavior from somebody broke up with Geno months ago. This is his ex-girlfriend. Here's another one. My ex didn't wish me a happy birthday, so I just mailed all of his shit to his new girlfriend's work with a note that said, he's your problem now. Congrats. Okay, and finally from Alex, someone I've been meaning to catch up with for a long time. Thanks so much to Geno Disconte for taking the time out of his busy day to say happy birthday. Oh, wait, he didn't. He pocket dialed me last night, didn't say a word, and referred to that as reaching out. Okay, some very crazy tweets from Alex Engelbert. Make sure to follow her, Alex_Engelbert on Twitter, Geno's Crazy X. And let's keep Geno in our pockets here. We haven't watched In Hot Water in quite some time. Has anything funny been happening to that show? Remember where every week we'd get those calls going to Geno Disconte? Let's start doing that again. How about we make this Tuesday another day where we all meet up in the Bring Back group and we get some calls going to that In Hot Water? They haven't had that in a long time. Might be good. Their little buddy, what's his name? The Midge. Aaron Berg. He's in the news. Now, is this doing, let me know, is this doing him any favors? Is he growing from this? Aaron Berg is in trouble with his White Guy Matters comedy show. Have you seen this one? Let me know if this is doing, if this is good for him or bad for him. Toronto stand-ups call out White Guys Matter comedy show. People are urging Yuck Yucks to cancel Aaron Berg's show, but he insists it's satire. And then they've got this beautiful photo of Aaron Berg looking so buff here. And it says the White Guys Matter comedy show. If I remember correctly, this is something Kevin Brennan was putting on with Aaron Berg. And the description of the show is all white guys. Seriously, all funny stuff. There is no safe space tonight. By the way, I hate when people use this safe space stuff sarcastically. I saw this. There's this guy you all like. You were posting about him in the Bring Back group. He does these super cuts about Joe Rogan. I forget his name, but he just did a video about Owen Benjamin, and I had to bail on the video because he's doing all this safe space sarcasm. Have you seen this where people kind of mock the idea of a safe space? That's fucking hack now. You know, like saying, like, this is a safe space, everybody. Don't worry, you're going to be fine here. It's like, yeah, we got it. It's kind of old. So Aaron Berg's doing this now. There's no safe space tonight. Watch these seasoned pros take on race, religion, sexuality, sexism, and anything else your prime minister deems unworthy of humor. Let's make comedy great again. So I guess Aaron Berg's under fire. Let's read the article. A comedy show happening in Toronto tonight, April 11th, is receiving backlash for trivializing misogyny, racism, and gender-based violence. White Guys Matter is taking place at Yuck Yucks, hosted by Aaron Berg, and promises to elevate the voices of everyone's favorite marginalized group, white men. I find this stuff to be pretty hack by now. Come up with a better plan instead of just mocking it. All white guys, seriously, all funny stuff. There's no safe space. Let's make comedy great again. The show is basically making fun of the current status of the comedy industry. It sheds light on the exclusionary practices that inclusive shows are accidentally guilty of. It's satire. That's what Aaron Berg says. So Aaron Berg is mistaking his unpopularity for stuff like this. Now, while this stuff is very real, while people are going after stuff like this, and the white man, Aaron Berg would be doing fine if he was funny. Aaron Berg's just very fucking short and not that good. And his stuff is pretty hack. And I think people are more offended by how, like, outdated his racism is, rather than it being, you know, edgy and racist. So Aaron Berg is taking this route where he's going to try to blame, hey, the reason I'm not successful is because, you know, everyone's attacking the white man. I never really looked at Aaron Berg as the type that was under attack from that group of people. He's trying to make himself involved in that type of thing. Let's see. The lineup consists of comedians. The lineup of comedians Berg confirms are all white men, including Peter Anthony, Alan Park, and Darren Frost, losers. The show originally included a gay man, but he has since canceled. In days leading up to it, people on Twitter have asked Yuck Yucks to cancel the show, calling it offensive, especially to women and survivors of sexual violence. So all the women. Megan Fraser, a Toronto-based freelance makeup artist and comedy writer, tweeted her criticism on April 10th in a since-deleted tweet. She wrote, "Hey, yucks, are you fucking serious? In the light of hashtag #MeToo and the state of the world, you think this was a good idea?" Okay, so they're all going after Aaron Berg now, but here's what I worry. And this is what I got to ask you, the Spencers of the group and the Matthews. I forget his last name, but I know there's a guy named Matthew. He loves this stuff. Is this good for Aaron Berg? Are people starting to like Aaron Berg? One of my biggest fears, don't mind me while I take one of my leaves here, pounding. One of my biggest fears is that like Aaron Berg, Geno, or Cumia accidentally starts gaining popularity by these alt-right guys. I don't know if this has even already started, or the Proud Boy types, because they seem to be in line with what these guys are against. Is that happening, or do these people not really give a shit? Because I know, there's Spencer O'Neill. You're in the alt-right universe. Is Cumia cool? I think Cumia would be a lot bigger. Cumia's got a segment on the Alex Jones show. Doesn't Alex Jones broadcast to millions of people? Cumia's got like a regular segment on there where he fills in for Alex Jones. I don't see that picking up much steam, but I've always worried about it. I don't want Cumia to become an alt-right hero one day. That would be my worst possible thing. So where does he... I'm sorry, I'm trying to swallow when I leave. Oh. Where do these guys stand? Are they gaining popularity, or do people not even care? Do they see it as, okay, you're a little late to the ball game? This would have been cool maybe 1.5 years ago. Not right now. So I'd like to know. You know the answer to that one. Count lost his chance for the alt-right autists when he lost Gavin. Okay, that's good to hear. Here it is.
Geno is flat broke. Geno ain't got no money. Flat broke. He's always looking so damn crummy. Flat broke Geno. Ain't nobody think he's funny. He can't move out of the projects 'cause Geno is flat broke.